Welcome back to the Ladies Learn English YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at two commonly confused words. A lot of people don't really know how to use these words in sentences or what the differences are. So the two words we're going to be looking at today are house and home. I'm from Canada, but I live in Italy. When I decided to move to Italy, I had to sell my house in Canada. I decided to make Italy my new home. Now my husband and I are looking for a house, but nothing we've looked at feels like it could be our home. So you may be like many other people who are confused about what the difference is between house and home. Well, you're watching the right video because I'm going to explain what the differences are and how to use these two words correctly. House. A house is a particular type of building. So it is a fixed item, an item or building that doesn't move. A house can be a house. A house can be an apartment, a condominium, a flat, okay? But the most important thing is that we're talking about the building. Most people in the United Kingdom live in semi-detached houses. I bought a doll house for my niece's birthday. Home is the place where you live or the location you feel like you belong. So a home can be a building or a location. It has more emotional feelings than the word house. Here's an example. I loved traveling in my early 20s, but after 1 year abroad, it was time to go home. I missed Canada. I was at home watching television when my mother phoned me. You can also combine both of these words in one sentence or idea. So let's go back to the example from the beginning of the video. I'm from Canada, but I live in Italy. When it was time to move, I had to sell my house in Canada. So I had to sell the building. I decided to make Italy my new home. So when I use the word home here, I'm talking about the location, the feeling that it gives me. Now my husband and I want to buy a house in Italy. So we want to buy a structure, a building, but nothing we've looked at feels like it could be our home. So nothing really gives us that emotional feeling of belonging to this building. Home acts similar to words like here, there, somewhere, etc. House does not. Here's an example. It's so nice to be home after a long day of work. Okay, so I could also replace that as I enter my building. I could say, oh, it's so nice to be here after a long day of work. Okay, so it's so nice to be home after a long day of work. Home also carries more respect than the word house. When you want to thank someone who has invited you into the building where they live, you can say something like, "Thank you for inviting me into your lovely home." Okay? But when you are talking to other people about your own place, we usually use the word house, not home. So, do you want to come to my house for tea this afternoon? Okay, another point is that a house can turn into a home. You buy a house, so you buy a general structure, a building, but over time and with personal touches and your own possessions, you create your own environment and the house becomes your home. Okay, so it carries more emotional feelings with it. It becomes your home, your environment where you're comfortable. I have some other expressions that lots of people confuse, so be careful not to confuse these expressions. Here are some example sentences. I must do the housework today. So housework means to clean the house. My son has lots of homework. Homework is work given to a student by a teacher to complete outside of class hours. Oh, I'm feeling quite homesick today. So to be homesick is to miss the country or the town you are originally from, but you no longer live in. And the last one, yesterday I gave the homeless man a sandwich. Homeless means that you have no home. Usually it means that you live on the street. So those are some commonly confused words using house and home. I hope I've helped you today clarify the differences between house and home. Just remember that a house is the building and a home is the building or the emotional feeling you get from your environment. Okay, if you would like more tips, follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, or on Facebook. And don't forget to visit my website, ladieslearnenglish.com. I offer one-to-one online English lessons, so if you're interested in